I lied. It's not gonna be a driving video. But let me explain. I know I said that this next video would be a driving video, but between my schoolwork, papers I had to write, and the weather here in West Texas, it's just not been possible, man. Like, either things don't line up, I have to work on some schoolwork, or we've had crazy dust storms and other crazy weather. Yeah, it's been frustrating, but a driving video is just not something that I was able to get done. We now have another long weekend. Today, for reference, is Valentine's Day, and I'm all alone. But that's fine, man. In the 20 years that I've been married, I think I've spent maybe this many Valentine's Day with my wife. I don't know why, man. It always seems that we're just apart during Valentine's Day, but you know, it's all good because Valentine's Day exists inside here, inside your heart. It's also President's Day weekend, so I have a little bit longer of a weekend because of the federal holiday. We are going to install the brand new rear subframe on the RBZ. I've been working on in the background about the last 4 months or so, and guys, the finished product I'm gonna show you here in just a couple minutes is freaking awesome. In the meantime though, the last couple weeks, I have actually done a couple things to the RBZ that are pretty significant, and I want to kind of catch you up to speed, so let me show you those. One of the things that's been kind of a problem with the RBZ lately has been power. I could be doing about 60, 70 miles an hour on the highway, and I will know without looking at anything that the fan has just kicked on. All of a sudden the car kind of like lurches forward, like as if you're tapping the brakes, and I know it's because the fan is sucking power from the fuel pump, and the fuel pump is bogging down for a split second, and that has been extremely troublesome to me. I've looked on different forums and different things online about how to upgrade an RB26 alternator. There's different solutions out there. You can fabricate your own brackets and mounting and LS and Nissan Quest and all this other stuff, but you know what? I didn't want to go through all that because they all use really makeshift bracketry to mount it all. I went ahead and bit the bullet and got an ARD alternator from Japan, and it was expensive, I'm not gonna lie, but it's an actual RB26 alternator. It's just upgraded inside, so it is 150 amp as opposed to the 80, 90. There's conflicting information, it's either 80 or it's 90, so let's say 85 amp alternator for the RB26. You can see it right down here, and it just so happens to match the rest of the engine, which is awesome. So it is all installed, all fine, all good. You may or may not be able to see this cable right here, a new 4-gauge power wire that I have running off of here to the positive terminal on the battery, just to supply that extra uninterrupted signal, because I couldn't find any information anywhere about the real safe capacity of the power system for the Z32. Guys, I'm telling you, since I upgraded this alternator, I have no idea when the fan kicks on. I could hear it, but I don't feel it anymore, and man, that is really, really significant. When I'm talking about these dust storms, I mean, look at this, man. This is from 1 week of driving. Everything is so dirty. Dirt, McGirt. There's just dirt everywhere, man. It's been the crappiest last couple of weeks. So let's go ahead and move on inside the house, man. I want to show you the subframe and where it has come along to. I'm losing a lot of daylight, so let me kind of show you this really quick. Here you can really kind of see the subframe. It's that same illusion cherry that I went ahead and did. The valve cover and the brakes are done in the same thing. Now have the knuckles that are done in like a powder coated chrome kind of color, and gloss black for all the arms on both sides. All the polyurethane bushings been installed into everything. Brand new ball joints in the lower control arms, man. Everything is good to go. Everything is inside the subframe. If this is what we're doing this weekend, why is nothing put back together? It's because I actually need to share a little bit of resources from the current subframe. Also, man, I've been able to source a twin turbo sway bar. That is going to be an upgrade. If you don't know, the non-turbo and the 2+2 sway bar is approximately 3/4 of an inch. The twin turbo sway bar is 1 inch thick, so it is thicker, and I went ahead and painted it in the same kind of bronzy gold color that the wheels are on the RBZ. So that's another color that we're incorporating and making sure that there's harmony going on in the entire build, because that's how BC do, man. That's how BC do. So when we do this subframe, we are also gonna finally do the rear shocks and springs, which we didn't do before because eventually this was gonna be a thing that was gonna get done, and I'm really looking forward to stiffing up this rear end with those new shocks and springs, these new bushings, and the sway bar. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be sick nasty. And there's a couple other upgrades that I'm gonna keep for a surprise because we're still waiting for them to arrive. It's gonna be pushing it. It's gonna be pushing it. Right now, one of the things I need to do is tear the entire trunk interior apart to get to the shock towers, to unbolt two stupid bolts on both sides. Tomorrow morning when we get back together, that's when we're gonna start doing things. So you know what? I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, man. It is time to start the day. I'm out in the garage. The interior in the back has all been removed and now it's ready to get to the strut towers. As you can see, it's a mess. It's a freaking mess and I don't like it. Today I have a lot to do, man. I've got to drop the rear subframe. I've got to get that suspension out. I've got the brand new rear shocks here that I want to actually get those all put together with the springs that are on there. I need to disassemble the current subframe. I do need to reuse some things. I'm also going to be reusing my bearings and I'll talk more about that later. And I'm still waiting on two parts to arrive. One, I hope they're both here Saturday, man. Otherwise, yeah. By the end of this project, before we start getting back into the swing of things, I have to get the whole rear end aligned. So that's a thing. And for that reason, man, I don't want to hesitate. I don't want to dilly-dally. I just want to get this stuff done as quick as I can and as best as possible. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and put some music on, show a little bit of time-lapsey scenes of me pulling this subframe out. Let's rock and roll today, man. And just like that, the subframe is out of the car, man, and it does look great. I mean, it's only got 107,000 miles, man, and I'm definitely stoked. I'm going to be reusing the differential and the axles, and like I said, the bearings and the hubs. Reason being is they're totally fine, they're totally good, and I really kind of got to a point where this needed to be on a little bit of a budget. New bearings for a Z are ridiculously priced. Looking underneath, man, everything looks super good, super fine. I'm definitely gonna get under there and just kind of clean things up a little bit. Just, you know how BC do, man. Just make sure everything's clean and no other issues are detected. In the process of pulling that differential, guys, the mailman came with one of the parts that I'm waiting on. Actually, the major part that I'm waiting on. Check this out. Oh, snap. Any ideas? Take your guess right now, and I'm gonna open this thing up. Oh, snap. Dude, this is freaking sick. Look at that, man. Greddy R200 rear differential cover, man. Extended capacity, freaking awesome. Now you guys may be saying, BC, wait a second, it's listed as only being for the S14s and S15s, and you are correct. Greddy does not list that as being a part for the Z. This cover fits on the NA rear differential. I've confirmed that, talked to another Z32 owner that did this. I'm freaking super stoked for this to be a part of the build, man. Lots of work has been done. We are now to a point where basically I'm just gonna kind of strip that stuff apart. The hardest part about today, honestly, is just gonna be manhandling this stuff because it's heavy and it's just me. Maybe if I'm lucky, Ivan's coming over later tonight and that'll make it easier, but hopefully the next time I bring you back, the new rear subframe will be completely back together. The new shocks will be built. I think the next time we come back, we'll be working on that differential. Good morning, Amici. New day. Well, I don't even think it's morning. It might be noonish, but it's a new day. The last time I saw you was right around noon when I got that subframe out. I ended up taking a break, eating some lunch, and then really just kind of got to work. And I worked non-stop until about 8:30 last night. And in that time, I got the entire new rear subframe completely assembled. I also built the new shocks with the springs, painted some brackets, cleaned some things, and now I'm on to the differential. But before I do that, let me kind of show you what I got. The rear end has really come along very, very amazing. Everything looks sweet. Everything's torqued to spec. Here is the differential, and I'm just set up here on this makeshift workbench because that's really kind of all I've got right now. I'm about to crack this open, go ahead and drain this and swap out our new cover. If you look at the two side by side, you can see there's this massive reservoir on the bottom. It's freaking awesome. It is awesome. Super stoked to be installing that, and the shocks are over in the garage. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of sore today. I guess just from sitting down on the bare floor, from lifting things, moving things around. So I'm just kind of taking it easy, but I need to get this diff knocked out. Ivan is definitely gonna be over here a little bit later so he can help me move this subframe into the garage where we can go ahead and install it. So yeah, let's just get to work on the diff. Bruh, what a difference. Oh man, it looks freaking cool, man. I got the ABS sensors on now. I know you're supposed to use a gasket, but something I overlooked, something I know I probably can't source here locally same day. You know, I've got to drive the car. So what I'll probably do is check the diff fluid in the next week or so. Just make sure none of that silicone came off on the inside. But yeah, man, the diff is done. It is good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to just kind of killing some time. I also got some other things I need to take care of around the house. I need to get those washers for the lower ball joints from the old assembly. I'm probably gonna tear that down because right now it's just out on my front porch. That's, you know, it's fabulous, but we need to clean that up. I'm gonna do that. The next time we come together, we should be starting to put this stuff up into the car. It is quite a bit later, man. In fact, it is nighttime. It's basically dinner time, and I've been wrestling with this thing all day. So Ivan came over. He came over about 3 o'clock. Everything was done. We brought the subframe outside, so it is outside in the garage. Getting the diff in was a little bit of a different story, simply because the magnetic drain plug in the old diff cover was actually stuck, and then it stripped. So we had to go on the prowl trying to find a new drain plug, and that didn't pan out on a Saturday in El Paso. So Ivan was super cool and let me cannibalize his Z. So now the drain plug that's in the diff here is out of his Z, so it's all good. It's all good. Unfortunately, the front brace didn't come back from the powder coater either. I just reused the front brace for the differential for now, which is fine. He had a family emergency. He's actually out of town in Arizona. Luis, I love you, man. It's fine. It's all good. We'll just swap that out when the time comes. It's too easy. We've been wrestling with actually getting this diff mounted into the subframe, and it is now in there. And oh man, it's so dark. Yeah. Looking good, man. Looking sweet. On the jack, everything's balanced. It's ready to go up in the car. However, before I do that, I definitely want to put the axles back in because it's just way easier to do it while it's down on the ground, making sure I can get all the right torque specs. Probably gonna finish that up tonight, but it's already late. I'm hungry. It's dark. It's starting to get cold. It's time to call it a night, man. We're gonna tackle this first thing in the morning. It'll be Sunday morning, so I still got plenty of time. Tell you what, I'll see you guys in the morning, and we're gonna get this baby up in the car. And from now on, my little RBZ is gonna have a little bit of Scarlet underwear. Ow! It's her little Victoria's Secret. Good morning, back out in the garage. My voice is a little hoarse today. It's not stopping me from today, man. It's nice and warm out. I was a little hesitant. I thought today was gonna be terrible. But man, now that we're out in the sunlight, you really can get a better feel for this color. The differential's installed, the axles are installed. The camera does not do this color justice, and I've been saying that all along. It's the same color that we use on the engine and the same color that we used for the brakes. Now this is how it's all tying back together, right? We got the red up here in the engine tied to the same red on the brakes, now tied to the same red on the subframe, and yeah man, everything is ready, good to go. You can see this big old chin of a cooler back here. The time has come, man, to raise this subframe into the car, so I'll do it in a little bit of a montage style, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. Boys and girls, it is in and supported under its own devices, man. And it looks freaking amazing. Oh my goodness, man. This looks so freaking hot under here. Took a gamble and put the shocks in at the same time as I was raising it, and it actually paid off. Everything worked out really, really well. This is the one thing I love the most about the KYB AGXs, is that you could adjust them right down here on the tube, so you don't have to worry about getting in the interior of the Z, because it's basically impossible. And this Greddy piece is, honestly, it's to freaking die for, man. It looks super, super sick under here. Just a couple more things to button up, man. I got the drive shaft I need to attach. I'm gonna put the sway bar in real quick. Again, this piece, you know, we'll get it back eventually, and it's going to match this red here, so this will be red. This is hot. Let me get to finishing the rest of the stuff that needs to be done under here. There's one other thing I want to install that has to do with the drive shaft. I think it's pretty cool. I'll definitely bring it back when I start putting that in. The sway bar is now in, and I definitely think I chose the right color. I like it. I like it a lot, man. Everything is ready to go. Drive shaft is bolted up. Everything's torqued down with that. So the one thing that I got that's something I've been wanting to do for quite a bit of time, it has to do with safety of the drive shaft. I never really gave this any real thought until I started watching more and more instances of it happening on YouTube, where a U-joint gives out on a drive shaft, especially a one piece, could be catastrophic and potentially fatal. I've been wanting to build like a brace. Recently, I saw on Concept Z's website that they actually make a drive shaft brace. So I thought, you know what? Let me give that a shot, man. So this will just mount up and over the drive shaft like this. There's this lower plate like that. Yeah, let's go ahead and put that in. So yeah, I still got to torque it down to specs. I got to just get out, look at my manual and see what the specs are. But yeah, that clears the drive shaft really, really well all the way around. Sweet peace of mind, good piece of safety. I'm freaking digging it. Yeah, let me get out from under this car, tightening that up. We'll kind of shut this whole thing down. Yeah, man. She is done. Everything is up, installed, ready to go. The only thing I have left to do is the exhaust system, tidy up the trunk again and put all that back together. But other than that, guys and gals, everything is done, man. We have successfully arrived. I still have to take this to go get a rear alignment, and that's probably something I'm either gonna do later tonight or tomorrow. So why did I do this project? It's like that little Scarlet Victoria's Secret that's in her underwear. It's all about tying things together, right? To bring harmony between the RB and the Z, like some little piece here and there that kind of matches. And now we tie that into the rear end. So now we have this little flash of red that's going on all over the place. Black leather with the red stitching inside. We have that red coming into the inside as well. Enough rambling on from me. This doesn't complete RBZ Mark II. There's still one more project, which is the fuel injectors, and I'm gonna get to that. But in the next couple weeks, I'm going home for spring break, back to my family in Hawaii. Big things are coming, big changes are happening. Indeed, have eyeballs on the new project. And there's so many things I wanna talk about, but it's just too soon. So we'll save that for another time. Until next time, ciao a tutti, and aloha, bye-bye. Just a little video after the video. It is the next day. I just went and got an alignment. I just went for a drive, and Lord Almighty, dude, it feels great. I've got the suspension in the rear dialed up pretty stiff. Definitely less body roll in the turns. The car just in general feels way more freaking solid. And when I punched it off a line and did some like wide open throttle pulls, like there was basically no squat in the rear. So I'm freaking jazzed, man. I'm super jazzed. You've come a long way, and we're almost there.